So I guess I'll start right where I ended with my last trip to Africa. I just got back from Liberia about a week ago, and I was there for the entire month of December, pretty much. And during my trip there, it's just so apparent about how much more work, not only myself, but the folks with the mindset like similar to mine have to do to help evolve and build the youth of Liberia, not only in the area of athletics, but pretty much holistically in the areas of education, the areas of just personal development, mindset shaping, those types of things. The kids in Liberia and other parts of the world too, they create a virgin platform that we can leverage to make a difference and leave a legacy. So when we are gone from this earth, we will be remembered because of the impact we have put upon them. But particularly and specific to me and Sweat Equity, one of the success we had in Liberia was we launched an arm of Sweat Equity, a function in Liberia that's going to be manned by some project managers, and just starting to have our footprint there. When we were there, we offered 19 young people scholarships. And that's a huge success for us, being in the second year of reaching in Liberia. And we're looking to expand upon that. But we really want to see that our message and the work that we do is not only embraced, but also interactive, so to where we see our young people become instruments and ambassadors of what we do. Yeah, so basically, athletics and basketball as a whole is a means to an end. It's not the only way, but it's a means. So when you have the opportunity to use basketball to build relationships with young people, you build trust and you give them hope. So it's important that you take that opportunity and leverage it to expand in other areas. And one of the fundamental areas to develop young people is the areas of leadership development and mindset management. So here's what I mean by that. No matter how good an athlete can become in the skill development area, in the skill talent area of basketball, when they lack leadership and personal leadership, I'm focusing on that success that they attain will be short-lived. In order to enjoy sustained success in the actual game of life, you need those fundamental principles of leadership, resilience, integrity, character, those things. Those are the building blocks that sustain any type of success. So one of the areas that we can improve upon is making sure that we capture those as we are developing our young people. And that's an area that's near and dear to my heart. I think a lot of times coaches and developers and trainers, they are so focused and fixated on the actual putting the basketball in the hoop and winning and making these guys so successful at playing the game between the lines. And we lose focus of those important areas. And we see them even at the professional level to where successful athletes struggle in their personal lives. And that's because the areas of development with leadership and character and resilience, they are weak in those areas. So the first time they face challenges or adversity or those types of things, they are compromised. And then sometimes unfortunately, they lose everything that they've worked so hard to gain. So it's better that we tackle that. So specific to Liberia, one of the things that we did was we targeted our young people based on their ability to even present themselves, their desire to want to take advantage of education and leadership, and the ability for them, the hunger. We predicted that, we were able to determine how hungry they were by how passionate they expressed themselves. And once we realized that, we gave them an opportunity to say, hey, we'll help you further your education and help you realize your dreams and your goals. So we targeted the ability to want to lead and the hunger, and we just provided them opportunities. Yeah, and to elaborate on that, I will say this, not only with basketball, but in life, a lot of times we are tricked. I like to capture the word that Coach John Lucas, who I gave a tremendous amount of respect to and who helped me as a basketball coach and development coach. I always gave him that credit. I always hear him talk about don't get tricked. Okay, this life that we live, even adults, we get tricked We get tricked and put so much premium on the things that have very little value. Okay, there's very little return on investment in the highlights. A highlight reel is what capture our attention. And all of a sudden, we want to go from here to there without understanding the process. But it's the process that actually develops the product. So when that process is disconnected, that product is kind of not fundamentally built, okay? And that's the world we live in today. So we spend a lot of time on things that have very little value. Even outside of basketball, you know, we buy things that have very little return on investment instead of investing in those things that are priceless, you know, like your personal development, like your mindset management, like character, you know, those things. You know, when I was in Liberia, I gave the kids this, and I would share this with the audience. The word attitude is everything. Attitude is the only word that I have come across in my life that if you add the numbers up, it's 100%. Okay? With A being the first letter, that's 1. B would be 2, right? So if you go up and count the word attitude, they equal 100%. Your attitude towards life is going to determine life attitude towards you. So our young people, they have this short span of attention. Okay? And this short span. So the way you engage them is you question them. And you ask them to give you 3 things that they learned today. And by giving you that, it's like a quiz. How do you retain the information in the classroom? You go to a quiz or a test to see how much you retain. When we don't do that, we can go through a whole year of skill development and these kids will retain very little. Yeah, they might make a little bit of progress, but that's not maximum progress. When you consider the amount of time you put in it, the amount of money that parents have spent, the amount of just all of those things, are you really getting a true return on investment? And return on investment is not measured by how good they become, but as a basketball player, but how good they become as a person. You know, because that guy that makes the extra pass is going to be that guy that's going to be a great facilitator of his organization, or a great teammate to work with. Because guess what? It's that selfless attitude that creates the organizational success. And we got to tie that. We got to always tie that. When we lose sight of that, we miss it. So we talk about, you know, communication. Like I always, you know, I listen. So one of the things I do is I surround myself, my ecosystem, right, is filled with people that I can suck knowledge from. You know, John Lucas and the Travis Trice of the world, and the like-minded. You know, I had the opportunity to work with the NBA Top 100 in Florida. I was around Purvis Short and the minds of those guys, those legendary guys. I had a chance to work along with Derek Anderson from Kentucky playing the NBA San Antonio Spurs. And I mean, so many guys were in that ecosystem that I was like a sponge that absorbing knowledge. So when you bring this information back, it's not so much about making the next athlete the LeBron James of the world. I mean, you want him to be there because LeBron James is a standout guy, character, high class personified. So yes, but so many of our young athletes only see the basketball piece. That's it. Right. But here's the thing: the basketball playing days end at some point in time for every one of us. So when it ends, what is it that we hold on to? And if you haven't developed in those other areas, then you slide, and the fall is not a pleasant one. So. Yeah, next is expanding our reach, all right? But not only expanding our reach, but being impactful in said reach. So as I just told you, we launched just in one area with scholarships. So the next challenge and opportunity is to grow in the area to where we need an infrastructure in Liberia, at least at some point in time, so our team can collaborate and be able to do some work. So we need that. That's one. We also need to build a criteria set, an event set that our young people will be able to participate in and kind of get some semblance of what we do here, skill development, leadership development. So how am I going to do that here? We're going to preference that here with building our platform first, our Sweat Equity Leadership Lounge, where we're going to discuss leadership topics and things positive. You know, there's so many negative energy in the world. Sometimes we're going to touch on the negative, but using it as a means to reflect a higher order of positivity. But we want to do that. We're going to build this website that's going to be interactive. We're going to try and get infrastructure on the ground. We're going to get a structured program on the ground to where we're looking to make a continuum of development for our young people. And then we'll do some coaches development. At the same time, one of the things we do is motivational and keynote speaking. We want to expand in that area because the next group of young people that's coming up the pipeline have to be ready. Everything can be done by me, so they can be ambassadors of the brand. What I have to do is continue to build this relationship of skill development, these opportunities to create funding from them, which I can leverage to expand in other areas. So it's a lot of work as I put them down on paper, but it can be done. It's the desire to do it that matter. How it's going to get done, I don't care. It's going to happen because as long as I'm alive, we're going to work. Value added in all areas. So I don't want to really sit down. I don't like too much script. I'm not a scripted guy. I'm a free-flowing guy because life is not scripted. Correct. Yeah, you do a checklist for today, and by the time you walk out the door, everything changes. I had the opportunity one day, about a couple of weeks ago, I telework for the most part, and we had to go into work for the first time in so long. And I was all ready the whole week, Aaron, for that day. And got myself up early, got my everything ready, my coffee and everything. When I walked out, my vehicle didn't start because they ran a system check that night and everything died, locked up. So that's just an example of what life throws at you. I couldn't call in that day because that was the only day we had to go in. So I had to Uber from here to work just to make it there. But the point here and the message here is that no matter what you plan for, life is going to flip it around and give you something. So I like the free flow. How I feel that day, how we think is what we're going to talk. We're just going to go with the flow. But at the end of the day, it's going to be some substantial messages. It's going to be so much value added. It's going to be things that people can hook onto and take. There's a problem, though. Remember I told you earlier, we put premium value on the things that don't matter. I don't expect the following to be huge because typically people gravitate towards negative talks and those types of things that have very little value. Yeah, it's a free platform of valuable information, life-changing information that produces profound outcomes if you just implement one or two. And I expect that the participations are not going to be low. Not going to be high. But here's the thing. If one person can take one concept away and implement it, we've been successful. Oh, man, I was going to say exactly that. So here's the thing. I was talking to my brother Anthony earlier, and we're talking about music. So, I believe music is life. So here's the unique thing about me, right? A lot of time people don't understand me. My life is a mystery, all right? In a riddle, all wrapped up in an enigma, right? So people don't understand because one day when you see me, I'm in the gym in some shorts doing some drills. The next minute you're going to see me in my kitchen with my apron and I'm cooking some dinner. The next minute you're going to see me on the beach somewhere flexing. And sometimes people ask, how you in 3 different places at the same time? But then the next day you're going to see me maybe in a jacket and a suit or tie or something at work as a professional guy. So what I do is I try to have this balancing equilibrium of my life to satisfy my soul and fuel my soul because the output that I put out, right, the output needs to be replenished. So music is one thing that I really, I was in Liberia and some days your heart is so heavy because you try to solve the poverty problem, but you can't do it because you can't boil the ocean. It's too much, so you can only take a portion of it and make a difference. So some days your heart is heavy because you wish you could touch so many people's lives, but you don't have the resources to do so. And then I would just get up and go on the beach and put my music on, and then 20 minutes later I'm in a different place. Because music just relaxes my mind, my soul, my body. And so I karaoke a lot. Yes. Okay. I be in the house karaoke, and sometimes my neighbors be like, you having a party? But it just be a one-man party.
All right. So do you want to say anything else to the audience signing off? Or?
Yes, absolutely. Always thanks for your time. I know if you're watching this, that means you're taking time from something else that you could have been doing. That can be more important, but the fact that you take the time to listen in is, we appreciate that. And I want to just leave a message, a parting shot, that every day in our lives, we're going to be faced with challenges, obstacles, roadblocks, setbacks, all right? Embrace those things as opportunities. They are designed to help you move forward. The way you're going to move forward is how you perceive them. If you look at them as roadblocks, then they become roadblocks. If you look at them as opportunities, then you're going to find a means to compromise them and go through them. Because at the end of the day, me, you, every one of us, we are all self-made. We contribute to where we are here and now. All right? Whether we agree or not. So our rewards, what we put out, what we give out, is going to dictate, it's in direct proportion to our returns, being your compensation, be it your if you work out, you get look a different kind of way. So what you put out is what you're going to get. So I caution you, I suggest that, I admonish you that, encourage you that you put out positive energy. It doesn't have to be money. Smile with somebody, tell them you appreciate them. Dignify each other, and you'll find that your world around you will be pleasant, because it's what you gave out, it's what you get back. Thank you so much.